We are now going to continue on and move into the next 6 zodiac signs. So we just finished the reading for Aries to Virgo, and now we're going to move into the next 6 zodiac signs. So if your sun, moon, or rising is Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces, your reading is coming up. So without further ado, let's see what kind of energies want to come through for Libra based on this season's archetypes. Interesting. Okay, so the first card out for Libra is Arnica, 33, teacher. And then we have Take Risk, with a cute little goat atop a mountain, but it's in reverse. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. We have Transmute. That's also in reverse. And then at the bottom of this deck, oh, interesting, we have Damiana, the Beloved, with 11. So already divine union coming through for Libra, 1000%. If you have been in separation, there's union that's being forecasted for this season for my Libras. For my Libras that are not in relationships and not in separation, haven't met their divine counterpart, there is a romance portal opening up for you during Gemini season. So you might unexpectedly meet your significant other during Gemini season, or they might be a Gemini. Take that how it resonates. So with these cards, there's different energies that want to come through. So I'm being drawn to the divine counterparts card, and there's a raven, and then there's a cup. So this union is being blessed by the divine. The raven could be an important symbol for either you or your counterpart, or you could be seeing a lot of ravens. And we have Pluto and Venus. So you could be Venusian. Obviously Libra is ruled by Venus, but you could have heavy Venus placement in the sense that Venus could be conjunct other planets, or you could have an intense aspect happening with Venus, or transiting Venus right now could be significant for you. And there's Pluto here. So your divine counterpart could be a Scorpio or have a significant Scorpio placements, but there's definitely union coming through, not only with these two beings here, but also with the number 11 coming through. And then we have Arnica with teacher. So I'm getting the sense that both these divine counterparts went through a lot of lessons over the past little while, past few weeks, months, and that these lessons have been very challenging, not only for you as a soul, but for you in a relationship and moving through separation. So with union on the horizon, it's about stepping out as the teacher and the master from those lessons and those experiences, because I'm getting the sense that it was not easy to move through, but the reward is coming through for Libra, and there's going to be nectar for sure. And we're kind of seeing again that interplay of union on this card too. And we kind of see a hand on this dark side, and there's no hand on the white side. So I'm kind of interpreting this as the feminine reaching out for her divine counterpart masculine. And with the black around the white, there was a need, or still is a need, for your masculine counterpart to reconnect with his inner feminine. And it's that healing with the inner feminine, his inner feminine, that's really gonna allow that union to take place. Because if you see the black here, it connects to the black on this side. So the force or energy that's really gonna facilitate this union, this connection, is the divine feminine, is really becoming more intimate and vulnerable when it comes to your own inner feminine, both as the divine masculine and as the divine feminine, because as we know, regardless of your gender, you have both feminine and masculine energies moving within you. So there's a real need to focus on the feminine energy, because I'm kind of getting the sense that the wounded feminine energy might have been overplaying its part in your relationship dynamic, and there's a need to kind of close that chapter and really seal in the healing that has been taking place. And with the 33, not only do we have teacher coming out, but 33 represents the master healer. So I'm really getting the sense that this union is steeped in master healing, both counterparts doing the inner work so that they can show up whole within the union. And then we have take risk in reverse. So I'm kind of sensing that either for divine masculines or divine feminines, one counterpart is going to have to take more risk than the other. And take that how it resonates, knowing if you're the counterpart that should be taking more of a risk, taking more of a leadership position, I would look to where Capricorn sits in your birth chart. If you have planets or multiple planets in Capricorn, chances are you might have to be the counterpart that takes more of a leadership position to initiate. Because as we know, Capricorn is the goat. They climb to places that other animals can't reach. So it's really being bold and taking that first step. So understanding, okay, the interplay between the feminine and masculine energy, figuring out how you dance in all this, and figuring out, okay, do I need to take that first step, or does my counterpart need to be taking that first step? So really connect with your heart space to find out, okay, who should be moving how, and it should just flow. There shouldn't be any stress when it comes to that. And there's a lot going on this card. We have a woman here. She seems to be using I don't know what the English word is, pilon mortier. She might be making her own herb blend. We have beautiful flowers all around. Arnica that she's crushing. Maybe she's making a poultice. Maybe she's making an elixir. You know, what she's crafting is for her to know. So there's a sense for Libra to kind of create your own remedy. If things have been particularly difficult for you, you've felt isolated either from your counterpart, or being single has been weighing heavy on your heart, there's a need for you to kind of create your own soothing salve or balm, whether you actually go and create one or you create one metaphorically. There's a need for you to really self-soothe and figure out how to do that. Because one of the shadow aspects of Libra is codependency, and Libra is ruled by Venus, so they are seeking love, and it's easy to fall into codependency patterns. So Arnica is coming through to say, teach yourself, Libra. Make sure you are self-sustainable, you are able to self-soothe, and once you're in this energy of the master healer and teacher, it's going to be easier for you to navigate this divine counterpart relationship that wants to come through, but you need to be fully developed and in your power. On another note, with the wolf at the back, I am sensing Libra's pain in regards to separation. I'm feeling the isolation, the loneliness that this wolf has felt as it howls out into the void, simply seeking their divine counterpart. So know that you are not alone in your pain, and that the universe has heard your cries, and they want to bring in this relationship for you. But as I said, someone's going to have to take a risk, and someone's going to have to take more of a back seat. You can't both be in the leadership position, because if you're both in the leadership position, that means you are both in your masculine energies. The reverse is also true. If both of you are willing to just let everything go and nobody initiate or lead, you're both in your feminine. So there needs to be either a reverse polarity if you haven't been in the right polarity and it's felt off, or there needs to be a deepening of trust if you are in the right polarity, and to just trust your divine counterpart to really show up and bring it to the table. And with the Saturn glyph here, there's definitely been restrictions and limitations imposed upon this relationship. And it's interesting, we're getting 2 Capricorn symbols. We have Saturn coming through in this card. Saturn is Capricorn's ruler, and then we have a Capricorn, a goat, on this card. So heavy karmic lessons are being learned right now by both divine counterparts, and that's why things have been slow. There's been challenges, there's been limitations, there's been restrictions. This has been Saturn coming through to make sure you are learning these soul lessons so that you can step in to being the master healer, the master teacher, and that you may claim this sacred union, but be completely whole and balanced. Because look at these individuals, look at these beings. You can tell they are at complete peace and harmony with one another. There's no chaos, there's no pain. And this is what Saturn wants to offer you, but it's understanding that you need to go through limitations and restrictions and pain and isolation first before achieving this union. So those are all the messages that are coming through for Libra. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I would love to hear from you. We are now going to move into Scorpio. So Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Stellium, or significant placement, or if you just resonate with that energy, we're going to see how the archetypes tie in to Scorpio for this season and what messages they have to share. I feel like this one also wants to come out. Okay. Interesting. So the cards for Scorpio are Comfrey, Completion, 32. And that came out in reverse. We also have Motherworth, Strength, 13. That also came out in reverse. And then we have Compassion. That came out. At the beneath of the deck. Beneath the deck, we have Connect to Heart. And then we have, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Dragon Sasha, Transfiguration, 22. Beneath this deck. Okay. So the way I usually read reversals is often it can be energy that's currently being hidden, veiled, and out of sight, so you don't see it coming, so you don't interfere, or it can symbolize a blockage or something that has yet to transpire. So with the Dragon Sasha Transfiguration at the bottom of the deck, there's definitely a phase, a transformation that is going to be coming through for Scorpio. And we have both your planetary rulers here. We have Mars and we have Pluto. So this season is going to be about transformation for Scorpio. And with the card of Compassion being upright, this is direct energy you're going to have to tap into, is to be compassionate towards yourself and others, because I'm hearing that even though you will be going through a transformation this season, others around you might be going through some transformations of their own that you remain unaware of. Especially with both these cards being in reverse, this indicates to me that there might be some aspects that you are not privy to and you might not be aware of. The example that's coming to mind right now is just, let's say you have a coworker and maybe they haven't been doing things properly lately, and you're just like, oh, getting annoyed with them for just, I don't know, missing deadlines or whatever. But then you find out that one of their family members has fallen ill and is sick, so things like that. So it's just, we don't always know the battles that people move through in private. So it's always good to display compassion, and especially with Mother Earth strength coming out. Look at this woman. We have her kind of really embracing her heart space and being open. And even though this is a womb here, it kind of looks like this, I don't know, deer. I can't tell what this animal is, but the shapes are very similar. And this one was upright and this one was in reverse. So there's a need to just be compassionate even if you don't understand what is going on. And interestingly enough, so we had those two kind of images that look the same. And we have bones carrying over on this card too. We have bones right there, and then we have a skull over here. So bones, skulls, symbol of death, definitely. And not necessarily a physical one, you know, like a lot of people get concerned when they hear the word death. They see the death card in the tarot. Death just means that something needs to die. This can be a personality trait, it can be a habit, it can be a way of life that's no longer serving, so that a rebirth can take place. So death doesn't need to be that scary. And with transfiguration happening, look at this, there's fire going on. And then the plant seems to be strangling this tower. So not only is this tower being set on fire, it's also being strangled by this plant. So there's really a need to just suffocate and remove the life from something. And what I'm sensing this is impatience for some of my Scorpios. There's a need to just strangle and get rid of impatience. And again, to just display and bring more compassion into the environment that you work in, that you live in, however that applies or resonates for you. I'm also getting that working with rose quartz could be supportive for you at this time if you're into crystals or naturally gravitate towards crystals and things like that. Rose quartz or having a piece of rose quartz on your desk could be helpful, because I'm definitely sensing that whatever this is, it has to do with the work environment, because I just noticed there's people helping each other here. So there's a need for you, Scorpio, to help others without actually seeing what's in it for you, right? Because one of the shadow sides, I suppose, of Scorpio is that they can be very calculated. They can have hidden agendas and motives, and there's a need for you to just really put your heart first. And I know that can be scary. Scorpios tend to love to protect themselves. If you think about it, Scorpios are symbolized by a scorpion. A scorpion has a hard shell, it has pincers, it has a stinging tail. So naturally people shy away from Scorpios because they depict the scorpion energy. But it's understanding, Scorpio, that you are here to evolve. The progression of Scorpio is then the snake or the eagle, and ultimately the phoenix. So it's the ability to destroy your inner sense of self over and over again and rebirth and recreate who you know yourself to be. And there's the flames here, and the flames I associate with the phoenix. So there's definitely a death and rebirth that needs to take place. And when it comes to comfort completion, there's a soul cycle that's going to be completed during a Gemini season for my Scorpios. It might not be pleasant, especially since my Scorpios like to have intel and know exactly what's going on. Being temporarily kind of blinded is unpleasant, but these are soul lessons, because you have Saturn coming through and you have the symbol for Capricorn here as well. And it's interesting because we have bones, we have crystals, we have Capricorn, and we have the glyph for Saturn. And if you look quickly, these plant leaves look like eagle wings. So there's a need for Scorpio to really progress into a higher octave this season. And it's realizing that, Scorpio, you don't have to stay the same. If you don't like how you've been responding to certain work issues or work challenges, you can completely shift how you respond. And it's knowing that if things aren't going your way, there's a soul lesson that needs to be completed, and that is not being completed because you're fighting it. And what I'm sensing for a lot of my Scorpios is bringing in more vulnerability into the workspace. And again, this can be extremely scary and uncomfortable for Scorpios. But this is the cycle you're in, is really to open up your heart in the work environment. And it can be scary. It can be a risk. But again, you have Capricorn coming through. So Capricorn is ambitious. Taking those risks does pay off, but you need to be willing to risk it. And what I'm sensing with the connect to heart, the heart symbol on this card, for a lot of my Scorpios, is about exposing your heart more, showing that you actually have compassion and leading and operating from your heart as opposed to your mind and that hidden agenda or those hidden motives that you might be hanging on to. So if you're willing to be brave enough to expose your heart and to be more vulnerable, to display more compassion, more love and appreciation for people around you, this transformation is going to go a lot smoother. But the more you resist these activations and these shifts that want to take place within your heart chakra, the harder it's going to be. Because don't forget, you have Saturn here. And Saturn is the planet of karma, limitation, and restriction. So the more you try and fight Saturn's lessons, the more you're going to suffer. So the choice is yours, because you have the potential for things to be easy, breezy, and beautiful with Venus coming through. And again, that kind of rose quartz color. So rose quartz could be supportive. Amethyst could also be supportive for you, or even both. Having a piece of both on your desk and your workspace as a reminder to display compassion and to connect to your heart will be extremely beneficial. So those are all the messages I'm getting for you, Scorpio. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I would love to hear from you. We are now going to move into Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. These are going to be the messages from the archetypes for Gemini season. So let's see. A lot of reversals in this reading so far, which has been really interesting. As I say that, both of these cards are in reverse. Okay, Sagittarius, you have love in reverse. I'm getting grandmother ancestral vibes coming through from this card already. And then we have Dandelion, 53, wounded healer. Oh my god, I love this card. Wounded healer energy. That's Chiron coming through. We got the Chiron glyph, and who else we got? We got Jupiter. A lot of healing energy around Sagittarius. Probably not the healing you want to be doing during the season, but you're going to have to do it, baby. Self-love, self-care. If you're not able to activate your heart and show love for yourself, show love for your body, who you are, if you struggle to accept who you are on a deeper level, there's going to be some struggles this coming season. And that's because your wounded self is going to really be highlighted and activated. So right now, Chiron is still in Aries, and that means that our sense of self is going to feel even more vulnerable, more highlighted. We might feel more self-conscious, and for you, Sagittarius especially, this is coming to the forefront because your own Chiron, wherever Chiron sits in your birth chart, is being activated during this season. So you have a huge portal opening up to do some intense soul healing, Sagittarius, and it's being offered to you right now. And though that might not sound pleasant to hear, you have so much support all around you. You have the Merkaba here. Merkaba I associate with Archangel Metatron coming through. So if that's an archangel that you resonate with, he's coming through to offer support. You also have the symbol for Sagittarius and Chiron here. So Chiron, tap into your own. Call upon him. Ask for support. You have Jupiter coming through also. Jupiter, the planet of luck, abundance, optimism, prosperity. Turn your pain into power, Sagittarius. What can you learn from this experience that you're currently in or that you might be moving through over the next couple weeks, you know, because there's a lot of wisdom to be gained. I'm seeing the dandelions as wisdom you will be gaining, and opportunities coming your way due to this pain that you're currently moving through, because this pain definitely has to do with love. This could be relationships in regards to family. It could be a romantic relationship, but there's definitely going to be challenges here with that being in reverse. And it's about looking at your role in these relationships, right? It's easy to blame other people for their shortcomings, but it's realizing that relationships are a two-way street. So how are you showing up in that relationship dynamic? Are you showing up inflamed? Are you showing up wounded? Are you showing up impatient? Are you showing up reserved? Are you showing up closed off? Taking the time to reflect on these aspects, and if you're still embodying them or showing up that way, is going to be helpful in terms of turning this card around. Because if it's in reverse, somebody has a closed off heart or is not operating from their heart center. And when it comes to love, intimate relationships, we need to be in our heart space in order to be able to cultivate a healthy, supportive relationship. At the bottom of the deck, we have destruction. And it was in reverse. And then we have cannabis, 31, detachment. So this is a completely different message coming through for Sagittarius. So Gemini season might be very turbulent for Sagittarius, is what I'm sensing. But you have the support of guides coming through to say that you can practice detachment. If things get overly chaotic and dramatic, you can take a step away, either physically, emotionally, literally, whatever that means to you, and not let this drama or this chaos drag you down and destroy you. And it's understanding that you're going to be going through a sacred activation, because Chiron is really coming through and heart chakra energy is really coming through. So certain aspects of yourself need to be destroyed because they're hurting you and they are causing self-sabotaging habits and tendencies to flare up, especially in romantic relationships. And that's hindering you when it comes to vulnerability and intimacy. So there's a need to connect with Chiron, destroy this self-sabotage that's happening in regards to your heart, so you can really open up more. And to know that if things aren't going your way in your relationship right now, practice detachment. Don't take everything personal. Understand that you're kind of not inflamed but flared up right now because of these activations that are happening within your heart and your own wounded healer. So you might naturally feel as though you're on edge. You might feel short-tempered. You might be quick to respond and things like that. And with this card coming through, it says, practice patience. You have Saturn here and Neptune. So Neptune is intuition. Saturn is structure. So tap into your intuition about the situation and take some time to respond. If you don't need to answer a text message or take a phone call right away, take your time. Tap into your sixth sense and really connect and see, okay, how can I respond to this situation appropriately without being reactive? And then I'm also sensing that there's something to do with Saturn, because not only do we have the glyph there, but we also have the imagery of Saturn. So wherever Saturn sits in your birth chart, go and look at that, because there's something going on with Saturn. There might be another celestial body currently transiting the house where Saturn sits. There's something going on there for Sagittarius. So those are pretty much all the messages that want to come through for Sagittarius at this time. You might also be experiencing like heartburn and inflammation, indigestion. You might have like irritable bowel syndrome flare up. No, it's because there's an energy that needs to be looked at and cleared out. So if you're having any of those health kind of flare-ups or challenges, there's an energy that you need to look at from an objective perspective. Not putting yourself in like the driver's seat or on a higher horse. Look at the situation holistically and from a detached lens to see what role you're playing in the story you're currently living. So that's all I'm getting for Sagittarius. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I would love to hear from you. We are now going to move into Capricorn. So if you have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Stellium, or resonate with Capricorn, this is going to be the messages from the archetypes for Gemini season. Interesting that that card is coming out again. Interesting. Again, with the reversals. Oh my god. I don't think any zodiac sign has had an upright reading so far. Just upright. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab my water. Alright. Take a quick sip of this. Okay. So Capricorn, your cards are withdraw. And then you have, interesting, cat's claw, purification. This came out in reverse. And when I first saw the panther, before knowing it was a panther, I thought it was a scarab, which is interesting. Then we have, oh my god, there's a lot of symbols coming through. We have the explorer, also in reverse. And then we have ginseng, magician, also in reverse. Okay, so kind of weird energy coming through for Capricorn. As I said, when I first saw the panther, I thought it was a scarab, and scarabs are associated with goddess Isis, and Isis is a mother goddess. She's also associated with healing, magic, and bringing back to life. I know there's a word for that. Resurrection. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So different energies moving for Capricorn. I'm just going to take a few seconds and kind of tap in and see what wants to come through. Okay, so the kind of sense I'm getting from these cards is the withdraw card is connecting with the Queen archetype card. And then the Cat's Claw Purification is connecting with the Warrior card. So there's a connection happening. I think I'm just going to go based on the symbols that are coming through. Because you know when something's like loading, and it's like taking some time. This hasn't fully loaded yet. So we're just going to go with the symbols that caught my eye right away. So we have the Explorer in reverse. And then the wheel here. Those symbols look very similar. So to me, what I'm getting from these symbols is that things are going to be shifting for Capricorn. The wheel is going to be turning, and I'm sensing in your favor, though it might not appear that way at first glance. There might be some delays. I'm hearing delays in terms of like promotions or like salary increases, or you might have had a discussion in regards to receiving more money for something and it might not have gone your way at first, but know that the wheels are turning behind the scenes. That's why they're in reverse. Okay, that's what's happening. So these wheels of the universe and fate, they are turning for you, Capricorn, but it's happening behind the scenes. So you're not even supposed to know this is happening. But it's coming through, so we're just going to share it. And especially with this Magician card here. So I'm kind of interpreting this Magician as the counterpart to Fate or Fortuna, the goddess that rules fortune and blessings, as well as the Wheel of Fortune and Fate. And I find it interesting that you have a male archetype coming through. And then you also have Uranus and Jupiter. So usually these planets are depicted as masculine archetypes as well. So it's really interesting. So the wheel of fate is turning for you, Capricorn, and it's being directed by masculine energy, whatever that means to you. And then with the cat's claw purification, we have 25, which gives 7. And 7 is a highly spiritual number. So there's definitely not only DNA activations happening, but there's going to be huge activations happening within your whole chakra system, is what I'm getting. Which is a really random message that wanted to come through. So we have Pluto and we have Mars here. Again, more kind of masculine archetypes coming through, which is really interesting. And you have an uneven number, and usually uneven numbers, again, are attributed to the more masculine polarity. So a lot of masculine energy coming through for Capricorn. I'm trying to tap in and see if I can understand what this all means. Okay, I'm being drawn to take one more card, so see if I can get some clarification on what this is about. We have the Strength card coming out with the full moon. Okay, so there's definitely something to do with the full moon. Okay, here we go. Things are finally starting to load. So we have the full moon, and then we also have what looks like a moon on this Queen card as well, or it could be the sun. So interestingly enough, we're kind of getting that feminine interplay with the moon, either twice or the moon coming through once, and then the sun coming through. And interestingly enough, we have red on this card and yellow. Red is root chakra. Root chakra has a masculine polarity, and we have the yellow of the solar plexus chakra, which is a masculine polarity as well. So I'm kind of getting the sense that Capricorn, your inner masculine energy is going to get refaced during Gemini season. So this might look like you taking up more of a leadership position in more of the masculine sense. And this is regardless of gender. Again, as I've mentioned previously, we both have masculine and feminine energies, regardless of if you like those words or not. You can call it yin yang, you can call it black white. We all have this double energy playing within ourselves. And what I'm really sensing for Capricorn is a need to really step into this masculine energy that's coming through. So I'm kind of sensing that the Wheel of Fortune is going to turn in your favor, and this is going to have to do with you taking up more space. And this space could have to do with volunteer groups or associations, or this could have to do with work. And these energies are really encouraging you to step up in your leadership, to become that leader that deep down you know yourself to be. And we do have the Queen archetype really being highlighted in this particular reading right now. And it's understanding that your inner masculine energy is being purified. So if in the past you've struggled to connect with your masculine energy in a healthy, supportive way, and in a way that did not display toxic masculinity, so being overly kind of aggressive, bossy, cutting other people off, or not allowing others to have their say, you're going to be more compassionate and more understanding in your leadership, but still be able to hold firm and create that sound structure. I'm really getting Queen of Swords energy coming through for Capricorn right now. And the Queen of Swords, she's ruled by the element of air, and air symbolizes our mind. So there's an ability for you, Capricorn, to really direct and lead from the mind while being fully centered in your power and not being carried away by your own thoughts or the other thoughts that might be put forward by this group, this work environment, whatever this is. Because I'm hearing that there might be gossip around you, especially as you start to take this position. You might ruffle some feathers. Some people might not like it. But know that this is the divine orchestrating this for you. you are meant to occupy a position of authority, a position of status. And it's going to require you to step into healthy, empowered masculine energy, right? Because the masculine is direct. It's able to be assertive, to lead. The feminine is more passive, introspective, reflective, but the masculine really calls us forward to take action, to execute, to make decisions. And this is the energy that is going to be pulled out of you, Capricorn, during this season, because I'm sensing that things are already moving behind the scenes for you. You're just going to have to show up exactly as you are in your power. So as long as you can show up fully in your power and in your strength, you're going to have no problem at all managing this new role that's going to be offered to you. But at the same time, if you are a feminine or a woman and taking on this position requires more of your energy, you're going to have to find balance and make sure that you find adequate time to rest and take care of yourself. Because here's the thing, fundamentally between men and women, energetically, we are built different. Men regenerate within 24 hours. Women, we regenerate within a month. That's why we usually have our moon cycles last a month, right? It makes sense. So energetically, women, we ebb and flow. Sometimes we're high energy, sometimes we're low energy. And it's understanding that we need to respect our own energy flow. It's understanding that men have a higher tolerance because they have that energy structure that allows them to rebound after 24 hours. Women, it takes us 30 days or more or less depending on your cycle. And it's realizing that women can be in positions of leadership. They can take charge. But at the same time, you need to respect and understand your energy flow. Because if you are a woman, you're not in a position of leadership to try and be a man. You're in a position of leadership to be a woman in a position of leadership. And that goes with the qualities of the feminine showing up as well. So whatever that means to you or however that resonates, take it or leave it. But there's definitely a position of authority and leadership coming through for my Capricorns this season. And it's knowing that it's going to happen effortlessly. You're just going to have to ensure that you show up in your full authenticity and your full power, understanding that you might ruffle some feathers and that is okay. So that's all I'm getting for Capricorn. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I would love to hear from you. I am now going to move into Aquarius. So Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We are going to find out how the archetypes for Gemini season are going to interplay with your energy. Oh my god, that's way too many cards. Okay. I think we're just going to take them. Aquarius, I feel that you are going to be a busy bee this season. Especially with you being an air sign, and we're now in the season of an air sign. There's going to be a lot of busyness happening. Okay, so I'm getting the message to just use this one deck because we do have 4 cards that flipped over. So we have Manifest. We have the Pillar. We have Take Risks. We'll take risk. That came out in reverse. And we have Soul Work. So there's definitely going to be networking opportunities coming through for my Aquariuses, for sure. And for some of you, these networking opportunities that are going to be coming your way is in response to a manifestation that you set a long time ago. At the bottom of the deck, we have Transmute with a scarab, but it kind of looks like another bumblebee if you look at it quickly. So interesting. Take that how that resonates. Scarabs or bumblebees could be symbolic for you. I'm just waiting for the messages to download. Okay, so I'm getting that it's about expanding your network, meeting new people, going out, being social is going to be the theme for you during Gemini season. Even if there's times you don't want to go out and you don't want to be social, Spirit is coming through to say yes, go out. There's an opportunity that might develop during your outing. You might bump into someone. The outing itself might bring in the manifestation you've been desiring. I'm hearing the words like video editing, marketing, advertising. If you've been, either you have those skills or you're looking for people that have those skills, you might bump into them. I'm hearing web development. I'm hearing app development. Anything to do with tech is going to be coming to the surface for you during this season. So any business related to technology is going to be an answered manifestation coming through. And with take risk coming through in reverse, what I'm sensing is that these business opportunities or these network opportunities coming through for you, Aquarius, aren't going to involve a lot of risk. So if you've been kind of contemplating doing different, maybe tech related things, and you're like, oh, it's too much money, it's too risky, it's too that. If it's the right opportunity for you, you're not going to feel that it's risky at all. You're going to feel sound and peaceful. And again, you're going to really feel like it's answering a prayer or a manifestation that you set a long time ago. And it's interesting because the green flag or green light you need to pay attention for regarding this opportunity is going to be a joining of pillars. Like, look at those snakes joining together. And I'm definitely sensing this as a joining of values and vision. Maybe you have a certain project in mind and then you share it with someone and they're like, oh my God, I've had the same idea. So there's going to be a meeting of the minds in regards to these manifestations that are going to be coming through for you, Aquarius. And that is how you will know it is the right opportunity for you. Some of you might get entangled in outdated beliefs or thought patterns, so there's going to be a need to transmute that. Let's say you've wanted to create some kind of tech related creation and it hasn't worked out in the past, and you're kind of second guessing yourself this time around. You're going to have to clear out that energy and lay it to rest. And also trust the community and the network that wants to come through to help you make this dream, make this manifestation a reality. All right, that's pretty much all I'm sensing for Aquarius. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Pisces and see what the archetypes have to say for this Gemini season. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. A lot of the same cards keep coming out. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sovereign. This card came out for Cancer also. And then, interesting, we have Ginseng 40, Magician, coming out also in reverse. And then your other cards are also in reverse. We have Connect to Heart. And then we have Cat's Claw, Purification, also in reverse. So I'm just going to take a moment to tap in, download the messages. I'm hearing pay attention to your dream time. Whatever messages want to come through while you're sleeping are going to be significant for you during Gemini season. And interestingly enough, beneath the ginseng, we have Poppy Dream. So dream time is going to be very active for Pisces, especially with all these cards being in reverse, except for the dream card being upright. There's a lot shifting and happening within your dream time. For some of you, you're going to be undergoing a soul purification while you sleep. So if there's certain things that have been bothering you or weighing on your heart before you go to sleep, speak it to the universe and ask the universe for help in transmuting it while you sleep. For a lot of my Pisces, you are naturally connected to the ethereal spiritual realm, and that's where a lot of healing can actually take place. A lot of my Pisces struggle with living on this plane because it is so dense, whereas Pisces is naturally inclined to wanting to escape into the more spiritual dimensions and aspects of the self. And small side note, that's why some Pisces can kind of fall into drug use and other substances in order to cope with existing here, because Pisces is so sensitive, and there's a need for Pisces to really connect with their ability to be open to healing through the ethereal spiritual realm. So even though you might be facing different challenges here on the physical plane, you don't need to be facing them, is what I'm sensing. A lot of healing can actually happen in your dream time. I'm hearing that a lot of my Pisces are dream masters. And this means that any kind of timeline you don't like and that you're currently experiencing, you can shift by simply setting the intention before you go to bed. And with the connect to heart being in reverse, this is indicating to me that there's a lot of power in your subconscious programming when it comes to healing. And it's realizing that as a Pisces, you have very strong healing abilities, but often you limit yourself because of your current incarnation, forgetting where you originated from, which is the ethereal realm, which is the world of spirit. So you naturally have that connection. And with this magician coming through in reverse, this is symbolizing that it's untapped potential. You have the potential to pull through healing from the ethereal and the spiritual realm directly. You can self-heal like that should you wish. You don't need to be caught up or addicted or dependent on anything. You can actually heal yourself pretty much instantaneously by casting a spell or manifestation or prayer or intention before you go to bed, and setting the intention that it gets resolved in the dream time. So kind of experimenting with dream time healing and meditation is what's coming through for Pisces during this Gemini season, which I find very interesting. Oh, the other message that wants to come through is with the purification and kind of these more amber, fiery looking colors. As you set these intentions, if that feels supportive for you to do so, don't be surprised if your physical vessel undergoes certain shifts and changes while you're in the dream time. Like you might wake up and like you're drenched in sweat. Understand it's because your physical vessel is being purified while you're sleeping. And a natural byproduct of that purification can be body sweats. It can be waking up maybe with some aches, some pains. Know that it's because you are shifting your energies internally, and that your physical vessel is going to respond accordingly. So to not worry too much about that, but of course, if you are concerned or worried about your health, please go seek medical advice. So those are all the messages that want to come through for Pisces regarding Gemini season. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or doesn't resonate. I would love to hear from you. And as always, if you are seeking more support on your spiritual journey, feel free to check out my website. I am the dragongoddess.com for all my services and what I have to offer. I'm sending you so much love.